What is going on tonight, guys? Welcome to another episode of the Sick Pod Talking Titans. It's a little different tonight where it's just me and Vinny. Sal couldn't make it today for an emergency at work, but we got a really special guest on tonight and another New Jerseyan, so can't wait to get this rolling. Sammy, start us up.
Turn up your volume. Because you're about to listen to The Sick Podcast. Talking Titans.
Ladies and gentlemen, 94 yards. Touchdown, Titans. He is the baddest man in the NFL, and he just took her to the house.
The sickest Tennessee Titans podcast.
Zach!
It's gonna be sick.
All right, guys, we're back over here. Like I said, we got a really special guest on tonight. He's one of the biggest Steeler fans on the planet. Yes, I know I said Steelers fans, but there's a good reason for that. He has two great podcasts in A Friend of Jerry and Steel Here, which is another Steelers podcast he hosts with somebody else. I forgot the guy's name, but Jerry will, tell it. He's a former brother of mine in Local 855, and he's Barstool's biggest internet sensation and self-proclaimed Twitter god, Jersey Jerry, everybody.
Hey, thanks for the intro. Appreciate that.
What's going on, Jerry? How you doing, man? Appreciate you coming on tonight.
8:55 till I die, bro.
That's it. Listen, really appreciate you again for coming on tonight, talking with us Jersey guys. It's a little crazy that we're all not Jets and Giant fans, but It's all good. Jumping right into it, man. I seen a tweet from you last week when you were covering the Super Bowl. How you said that your life is, pretty crazy right now, and how you went from this to that, and your life is full circle. How you were in rehab in 2015, and you went to Scottsdale, and now you're working with Barstool for the Super Bowl. Just take us through that. How the game was. What was your best moments of that week? Covering stuff. I know you had a lot of podcasts, and if that was your first Super Bowl attending, if you did, what was the best part of it?
Yeah, so the week was great. It was a little long for my liking. I don't like to be away from my son for that long, but it was a little long, but it was really, really, really thorough. Got to do a lot of different things. I interviewed TJ Watt, which was awesome. I met up with Cam Hayward's brother, Connor Hayward. He came to the Barstool bar. Met up with Kenny Pickett. We hung out for a couple hours. Another Steelers tight end, Zach Gentry. But the highlight of the whole trip had to be, the interview with TJ Watt. That was really amazing. But yeah, it's crazy, as you mentioned before, 7.5 years ago, I'm living next to a dumpster, and then 7.5 years later, I'm with Barstool. It's pretty awesome. It's been a wild ride, and I'm just gonna keep going, man.
Yeah, man. All the praise to you, man. That's great that you got yourself situated with and sober. And I know you do a lot of things to help people get sober. So that's another thing I really want to touch on before we get into everything else. I know you have a podcast called A Friend of Jerry. You partnered up with Diamond Recovery. Just so if people are listening to our podcast, because we never really touch on this on our podcast, if people are listening and this goes viral with you, how can our listeners get a hold if they're struggling with addiction and helping to get themselves sober? How can they get in touch with you and Diamond Recovery?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, dude, you guys are on Twitter. You guys are, I'm not gonna, say you guys are some small time people, but you guys are just normal people. You reached out to me. I answered, right? I try to be as thorough as possible in my DMs, but especially geared towards that audience. There's a lot of people that message me. If I'm interested in it, sure, I'll respond. If I'm not, no, I won't respond. But if it's something that pertains to trying to get sober or looking for advice, I'm more inclined to talk to that person over a couple guys, just randomly hitting me up, asking me for picks or whatever the case may be,
Yeah.
So I usually tend to focus most of my attention on that type of stuff. Instagram or Twitter, I'm pretty open. I check it, every day. So if you're trying to get in contact with me, that's probably the best way to go.
Well, no, definitely we appreciate that, Jerry. I have a fiance who's a drug and alcohol counselor, and I definitely appreciate the work that she does and the population that she works with. And it's it's not easy. So we definitely appreciate your willingness to come on here, briefly talk about that. But we, of course, have to segue into football. And as you know, we're Titans fans. We're from Jersey. We know it's a little weird. Most people who are Titans fans from this area, was always a connection to Steve McNair and Eddie George. Basically, the story of Jared and I and Sal, who's not on here tonight, although his connection, his father was an Oilers fan. But as you know, we're Titans fans, and once upon a time, we drafted a left tackle out of Michigan about, close to 10 years ago. And he's basically written his own ticket, saying that the Titans are going to cut him. He makes a lot of money. He's had some few injuries the last few years, 2 ACLs the last few years. So I think a lot of Titans fans expect him to be cut as well. But you've been very vocal about, him coming to the Steelers. And have you pitched the idea to him? Is he open to it? I saw some things, but then I saw there was a little beef at the golf thing, and he pointed the club of your chest and said, "You people." So I was wondering what people he was talking about when he said that. Was it Jersey people? Was it us Italians? I mean, because we were big Lewan supporters for a while, but I think the breakup is nearing. So can you just elaborate on your relationship with him and what you think he's going to do next year, whether it's play football or just stick with Barstool or take off a year and then come back? What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, well, I hate to break your guys' heart, but he's not coming back. He'll be cut right after he gets back from Cabo.
All right.
So, he's on vacation now, with his family and stuff like that. So, hey, he's going to go on his vacation, enjoy his time. He'll be cut shortly after that. If I was to take a guess, I would guess that he doesn't play football next year.
I agree.
That's just my gut reaction. Now, listen, we've talked a bunch. I consider Taylor a good friend of mine. We text back and forth. We've hung out on multiple occasions, whether it be the Arizona Bowl or the Super Bowl. Him coming into Manhattan, I think he's still got some stuff left in the tank. I think he could still compete. But the thing is, he's made so much money. You know what I mean? He's got a family. The injuries were really, really crappy. 2 ACLs in 3 years, that's tough. It's tough. But you look at it, he's made all this money. What else does he have to prove, he has a really successful podcast with Will Compton at Barstool Sports. I mean, they're mega stars. They get any athlete they want on there pretty much, anybody they want to talk to or interview with goes on there. So what else does he have to prove? He's accomplished as a left tackle. He's accomplished pretty much everything you would love to accomplish as a left tackle, minus a Super Bowl, pretty much,
No, absolutely. And I tend to agree. I think he has a lot left. I could also see him taking a year off, getting in phenomenal shape, feeling 100% healthy.
Yeah.
Maybe making a go at it next year, but there's no hard feelings with him. I mean, he was a part of the few players that helped turn this franchise around when we, were a joke for a long time. We drafted, Mariota, who's no longer here, Lewan, Derrick Henry. They were all a part of the revitalization of this franchise. So we're forever appreciative of him. But next time you talk to him, you ask him if he would like to talk football with a couple of his biggest fans down here in Jersey. And you haven't answered my question yet. When he said "you people," who was it? Was it?
I don't know. I think it might have been. I think it might have been the Italians.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. So maybe we got to get him on here, talk to him about that as well, so we can smooth things out. But yeah, definitely reach out to him and ask him if he would come on here. We would love that.
I definitely sent him a DM after I seen him on your podcast 2 weeks ago, talking the same thing what we want to talk about. So hopefully he answers me. If not, if you shoot him a text, say 3 guys from Jersey would like to squash some things with him up, see what happens.
Yeah,
you guys would want him back, right? I would assume.
Absolutely.
Right price. If he took a pay cut, I think it would open up other aspects if we wanted to be more aggressive in the QB market. Maybe make a run at Rodgers.
He even said that 12.5. He said maybe, but he said that 12.5 with you is that he can't say that number because of negotiations. But
I think he would go back. Listen, he's going to want double-digit millions.
Oh,
okay?
yeah.
That's just what it is, I think if Tennessee offered him $10 million, he would do it.
And
I really
he's loyal
do.
enough.
Yeah,
I would say he's loyal enough to do that.
He's going
The
to
thing that's the problem with him is he's going to want more money somewhere else, more than 10 million, because now he has to uproot his family. You know what I mean?
He want to do that, especially he's got the bus down there with Will Compton. He's made his
Exactly.
money, like you said, and he said he's very loyal to the two-tone blue. And it's not about the money, like he said. And I truly believe him, and I know that you're always around him, and you're a real friend of his. So I mean, you would know as well. So I mean, gut personally, I think he retires when he gets cut.
Me too.
If they ask him to come back, I think he does still come back.
I do too. I think if they offered him to come back for less money, he would. But it's just out of the question. He's pretty much already been informed, like, you're going to get cut. Just is what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens with that. But yeah, definitely let him know. We'd like to have a few words with him. Not that we mean anything to him, but for Titans fans, he's meant a lot to us. So, segueing into that, because you are a Jersey guy, we want to touch on a few different things. Of course, football being one of them. But you're a Jersey guy, and I assume you're from up in North Jersey.
Yeah, right outside of Newark.
Okay, yeah, I spent a lot.
You're right. I think you're right by me, Jer. If everything goes,
where are you?
I'm in Nutley.
Oh yeah, you're the town over, brother.
Yeah. So we could be hosting together right next to each other.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm a South Jersey guy, so that's where the debate comes in. But we wanted to ask your opinion because I have these, two bozos here that like to call pork roll by its fraudulent name, Taylor Ham. I wanted to see what side of the fence you sit on with that debate and an explanation for your answer as well.
Yeah, I would have to go with Taylor Ham.
Of course.
There's no other question of it.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I see it in the store and it says Taylor Ham on the package.
No, it does. You're right. And Taylor Ham is a brand, just like Oscar Mayer is a brand. But when you go to a baseball game, you don't say, let me get an Oscar Mayer. You say, let me get a hot dog, right?
Now, where are you from in South Jersey?
So I was born in South Philly. My whole family was born and raised there. But I was raised in Cherry Hill. So I'm
I mean, that's not even relevant, New Jersey. I mean,
what do you mean? What do you mean?
I mean, no. If somebody says, "Oh, where are you going?" I'm going to New Jersey, right? They would pick out a couple places. One of them being, I would have more respect if you said like a Seaside Heights, Tom's River. You're so deep.
What do you mean? What do you mean? There's a whole section of Jersey below me too, where they buried Adriana at. Man, there's, that's where the Pine Barrens was filled. We're talking history over here. So, listen, we can go back and forth all day. Obviously, we joke about it.
We're definitely gonna play a game. We're gonna take something from you, but we're gonna play a game later on in the show, rapid fire. But we're not gonna get into that right now. I want to switch back over to the football world and your opinion on one of your biggest rivals in Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals. How they've taken over the North and basically the AFC, because we can't beat them certainly. So what do you think about that, and how you guys are going to attack that from moving forward?
Yeah, I think they're really good. I think Burrow is really good as well. The problem is, if you guys have seen a trend, now I use Mahomes as he's excluded because he's just different. He's on a different level than any other quarterback in the NFL. He'll go down as one of the best quarterbacks of all time, if not the best. Who knows? But the thing is, it's really, really hard to win in this league when you pay your quarterback a ton of money. And I think that's one of the problems that the Bengals might run into down the line. They're already having problems trying to sign T. Higgins. He wants all this money. You have all these guys on defense that have to get paid. Now you're giving a quarterback $40-50 million. How are these other guys getting paid? That's where I think the Steelers come into play in this division. Also, Lamar Jackson is either going to get a bag or he's out of there. So I'm not really worried about the Ravens. The Bengals are the team to beat for sure. They proved that the last 2 years. The Steelers are in a really good spot. Kenny showed promise this year. He's pretty solid. A couple of his throws earlier in the year, I mean, they weren't even interceptions. You know what I mean? They're just receivers running wrong routes, tip balls. He really only had, I'd say, 3 interceptions that were his fault.
His fault.
He proved he could win late in the game. He proved that he could run the 2-minute drill. The Steelers proved that they can run the ball. The Steelers proved that they can play defense. You know, T.J. Watt going down was big. I mean, the Steelers are 1-10 lifetime without him. I mean, that injury is significant. If he doesn't get hurt, the Steelers have a good chance to be a 12-win team, honestly. No bullshit. Like, they could be a 12-win team if everything clicks. So next year, I'm really looking forward to it, dude. I think, you know, the jump start George Pickens is going to give this offense. Kenny, Najee, Deontay Johnson had a down year. But, you know, you're not losing anybody major, you know, especially on the defensive side of the ball. They'll re-sign Edmonds. They'll re-sign Cam Sutton. Cam Hayward's locked up. TJ's locked up. Minka's locked up. It's just a matter of who are they going to draft. I would love a left tackle, but I don't know if they'll go that route. But, yeah, dude, listen, the Steelers are always there. You know, people can count them out all they want, but they're always going to be there. They're always going to be on the fringe of making the playoffs or a playoff team. That's just the way the franchise does business.
No, yeah, they're a very well-run franchise, and I always say it starts at the top. My fiance actually, not to bring her up again, but she went to high school with one of the Rooneys. Fun fact. So anyway, but yeah, they're a well-run franchise. They're always going to be competitive. One of the best coaches in the league, in my opinion. But you've been on record saying that, you know, maybe you think it's time. I think maybe it was out of frustration this year when they got off to a slow start, that maybe his time might be up in Pittsburgh. And I know a handful of Steelers fans because they're all over the country, and you weren't the first one to say that. You know, so how do you feel about that? Was it something you said out of emotion, or you ride or die with Tomlin?
I'm a little bit of both. I'm on the fence. You know, I think Mike Tomlin is a very, very good coach. I think he's a really good motivator. People love playing for him. So, yes, I would love a coach like that in Pittsburgh to stay there a long time. But when you break this down from a numbers standpoint, I mean, the last decade has been really, really not good. I mean, I think 1 or 2 playoff wins in over a decade. I mean, that's not going to get it done. They missed the playoffs several times. They had one of the best rosters in 2017 that the league probably has ever even seen. I mean, offensive side of the ball, this team's putting up 35 points a game, and you just do nothing with it. So, and that comes down to coaching, I think, too. And I think a big problem with Mike Tomlin is this. I think he keeps guys under him way too long. And if you look at Mike Tomlin's coaching tree, you tell me one guy who's left Mike Tomlin's coaching tree that went on to be successful. There is none. That's just what it is. And the Steelers do a really bad job. All they do is promote from within. They never are an organization that really tends to look outside. They usually promote from within. And listen, the league has changed. You can't just do that anymore. You have to go find new talent somewhere else. You know, and I feel like a big part of that is the Rooneys more than Mike Tomlin. It seems like they're stuck in their ways a little bit. The Steelers have, I want to say, the least amount of coaches in the NFL. They only have 5 defensive coaches. Every other team in the league has 9, 11. They have 5. You know, and on the offensive side of the ball, they have, I think, 8, I want to say, 9, and that includes quarterbacks, coaches, assistants, offensive line coaches, you know, so they don't carry a big staff, which is, I think, a bit of a problem, and I think they're stuck in their ways. But when people ask me, do you hate Mike Tomlin? No, the answer is no, I don't hate him. I just think you've seen what different teams have done. Excuse me, the Eagles fire a coach, they're right back into a Super Bowl, you know? You see these teams do these things, and it's like, you know, the Bengals, they fire a coach, right? Couple years later, boom, 2 years later, they're competing for Super Bowls. I mean, so I don't know, man. I don't know. It scares me to move away from Mike Tomlin, but I'm okay with it for now. I would say, you know, by the end of Kenny's rookie deal, if nothing significant changes, if this team's not winning playoff games, the Rooneys have to look at it like, hey, he's just not getting it done. It'll be 15 years that this guy has yet to win playoff games, to go to an AFC championship game. So yeah, it's just my take on the whole thing.
That's basically what we did with Jeff Fisher. That the 9 and 7 years. You got to move on at some point from.
Even Andy Reid, the Eagles. Sometimes you just need a new face.
Yeah.
So I think that was a fair assessment. Before we get into our last part, where we want to copy what you did a little bit with TJ, I think Jared has something to ask you about one of your things that went viral in the summer that I think everybody enjoyed a little bit.
Yeah, literally, I had my wife go through her phone because we had a video of my kids basically reacting your whole skit of when you shit your pants. And I was trying to get it. If I find it, I will DM you. But I need to know the story. If you really shit your pants on the train.
Yes. No, that's a true story. Yeah, that's on the train.
You literally shit your pants on the train.
Dude, full blown. It must have been from the food I ate. I ate Taco Bell the night before, and I wasn't feeling well all day. And then, I hop on the train home from New York City, and like 10, 15 minutes in, I'm like, oh shit, you got the bubble guts. And it's like, oh fuck. And then obviously, I've always been able to, make it to the bathroom, but I just went to the back of the train. I asked the conductor or whatever, the guy who's around the train, I'm like, hey, do you have a bathroom on this train? Yes, we do. It's in the back. So I went all the way to the back, which I thought was the back, and it wasn't. It was actually the front. So now I go all the way to the front of the train. I don't see a bathroom. I walk all the way back, and then it was about to come out. So I just said, let me just sit down in the back of the train where there's nobody. And I sat down, and I just released.
Dude, I'm telling you, I got to get that video because my kids love it. I watched it 100 times with them. They repeat everything. It's hysterical. Before we get into that, I really wanted to ask you this question before we get into the rapid fire. There's a lot of quarterback talk going around in the league where Aaron Rodgers is going, will Lamar Jackson go, Derek Carr's a free agent now. What's your take on some of these quarterbacks, where they land, and their best fits?
Yeah, I think a really good fit for Lamar would be the Jets. They're not going to win with Zach Wilson. That's been proven. They're not going to win with the backup. Joe Flacco. They're not winning with that guy. They need a guy like Lamar, and the Jets would be stupid to not pay Lamar Jackson. So that's just my take on it for the Lamar side. Derek Carr. I don't know, man. Derek Carr he's never had really talented teams behind him. He's always, if you look at the numbers, Derek Carr has always had a 26th or 27th or worse defense. And that's putting a lot of pressure on a guy like that. Where he goes, I don't know. Saints, maybe. I knew they were interested. Derek Carr also made a really good move. They tried to trade him to the Saints, and he pretty much said no, because he didn't want the Raiders getting any assets whatsoever. Yeah. So I respect him for that. But if I'm the Ravens, I would sign Lamar in a heartbeat. But they're just so off with the numbers, with the guaranteed money. You see a guy like Deshaun Watson who gets all this guaranteed money. He hasn't played football in 2 years. He comes out, he looks like he's garbage. And you're like, what the fuck, dude? I've been playing at a high level. I've been making the playoffs. You know what I mean? And you look at that and you're like, why is this guy getting all this money? So I think Lamar deserves to be paid. And I'll tell you what, I think the Jets should take a chance on him.
What about, where do you think Rodgers ends up?
I don't know, dude. That dude's a fucking loser, bro.
Yeah, you're over.
I mean, dude, like every off season is like a different thing with him. You know what I mean? Yeah. Where am I gonna go? Am I gonna play? Am I gonna still play again? Or maybe I want to get traded. Maybe I'm not happy in Green Bay. Maybe it's Jordan Love's time. If I was the Packers, dude, I just cut ties, man. Sometimes you gotta start fresh, man. And listen, Jordan Love might be the guy. He might not, but give him a chance, bro.
You gotta find out if you have the quarterback.
Yeah, you gotta find out, dude. I mean, this guy Aaron Rodgers. I mean, sure, the back half of the year he played a lot better, but the way their roster's built, I mean, they're not really built to win playoff games. They're just really not. They have a really good cornerback. Their receiving core is super young, so they weren't going to win this year. Their line isn't totally like set. Their D-line is just okay. Their linebackers aren't that great. So I don't think he's going to win there. If I was him, I don't know, man. I mean, I know the Raiders, but get reunion with Devontae, but that team is still so far away, you know?
Yeah, there was rumors of him coming here, with the house in Nashville, contract situation with Ryan Tannehill.
Would you guys want him?
I mean, it's hard to say no, considering we've been stuck in this place right now where we've been competitive, kind of, sort of, not really, haven't really had a quarterback ever of his caliber. Even when we had McNair, he wasn't talented as could be, but not as talented as Aaron Rodgers. And we feel as though if we could retool, with Rodgers and get a receiver, we still have solid pieces on defense. And if we draft well, I think that's a very winnable division where, you could turn that around very fast. We were 7-3 before we lost 7 straight. So, do I think it'll happen? No, but I'd be crazy to tell you, and I'm sure Jared and Sal would agree, if he wanted to come here, who the fuck are we to say we don't want you?
Exactly. No. What do you guys think about Malik Willis?
Not a big fan of his.
I was here for that because
we all three of us, we go back and forth. Me and Vin are on the same page. Sal's not. Sal loves Malik Willis. But my thing is, he was an SEC guy at Auburn, transferred out, went to Liberty, played lesser talent, lit it up, and struggled. I mean, there's a reason why he fell in the draft compared to these other guys. He has all the talent in the world, great person, but I just don't think he is that quarterback at the NFL stage, like reading defenses, making right decisions.
Yeah.
Arm talent's there. He can throw the ball a mile.
Oh, yeah.
It's the decision making. Yeah. And Vrabel even said it. We had Teron Davenport, our ESPN reporter, on last week, and Vrabel said in the preseason that he's got to see it and he's got to sling it. And he's seeing it and he's not slinging it. So I mean, it's development issue too. So I mean, we'll see what happens with the new offensive coordinator and Tim Kelly and what they do.
The thing is, I think it's going to take time with him, and we feel as though if we put it together correctly, we could be competitive next year. And I think Vrabel wants to win now.
And we are, because we have a lot of pieces, man. We got injured the last two years, the most injured team in history in the NFL.
Oh, yeah, for sure. No, you guys definitely struggle with injuries. You guys have a former Steeler, Bud Dupree. It'd be interesting to see if you guys are going to –
He's going to be gone too, I think.
Yeah, you're not going to re-sign him. But, I mean, dude, I mean, the Steelers, multiple teams even came out and said it. He just wasn't NFL ready. He's just not, dude. I mean, just looked at him in there and you're like he was lost, bro.
Yeah.
He looked like a guy who had no business being on the field. But listen, they took a chance on him, and hey, hopefully it works out. It doesn't seem like it will, but there's only one way to find out.
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely low risk. In the third round, why not? But yeah, I think this front office and Vrabel believes that they don't have the patience for someone to develop right now. They want to. They'd rather re-sign Tannehill than see what they have with Malik Willis.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, we appreciate you coming on. I also forgot to mention that I'm a big fan of the signs as well. Me and my buddies always texted each other as joke. When the Bengals played the Chiefs in the title game, my buddy texted me and said, Ocho Cinco jersey on. 85 is now the sign. That's the grocery store. Who's going to eat? T. Higgins is going to eat. T. Higgins is now the sign. And I bet his every player prop, and Jerry, they all hit. The yards, the catches, and the
no touchdown, though, yeah.
It's the sign. So Jerry Fragrance is good as well. I enjoy that content as well.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Dude, that's why I introduced you as one of the biggest, Barstool's biggest, internet sensation, and you are literally the Twitter god. Yeah. So, listen, I hope you don't forget us. If you ever want to come on, or if you ever need 3 Jersey guys to come on,
for sure,
to any one of your podcasts or whatever, we would definitely do it. Just to take something from you, which is rapid fire. I seen you do it with TJ Watt, so I wanted to, return the favor to you. We got a couple questions for you. You can pass. You can pass or answer whatever you want to do.
I don't think I'm the type of guy that passes.
Yeah, they're
definitely not.
Yeah. So I'm gonna start off easy with your all-time favorite Steeler.
Troy Polamalu.
All right, favorite person to work with at Barstool.
Big Cat.
I knew that was the answer. That you guys are like spaghetti and meatball over here, dude.
Yeah.
You already answered the Taylor ham and pork roll to shut Vinny up, so we know it's Taylor ham. The next question is sauce or gravy?
Gravy.
Ooh.
My man.
Ooh.
My man. You made up for the Taylor blunder right there.
One Steeler you can bring back to the current roster right now.
Ooh, that's a good one. That's a really good one. Oh man. One Steeler I would bring back.
Just one, Jared.
And it doesn't have to do with anything like his personality or anything like that.
No.
I'm just
one person.
Antonio Brown.
Over Troy Polamalu?
Yeah, dude. AB's the GOAT, bro. Yeah. Listen, if AB never went crazy, if you look at his numbers,
oh my God,
he was on pace to be the second best receiver of all time.
My brother creamed his pants when he got traded to the Raiders. He was buying, Antonio Brown shit. He goes, "This is the greatest thing in the world," and then he just went crazy.
Yeah, he's just crazy, man.
Yeah, I've often said that as well. If he didn't go nuts, there would be one receiver better than him, and it would have been Jerry Rice.
Yeah, that's it, dude. Yes.
Yeah.
The last one I got for you is Taylor Lewan or Will Compton.
Oh, football wise,
personality, how you're around them in that Barstool stage and everything.
And
I want them to be tagged in this, and I want them to answer too.
Now, from a football standpoint, I would say Taylor Lewan, but chopping it up, I'd have to go with Playoff Willie.
Okay, fair enough. I only got one for you, Jerry.
Yeah.
Favorite Sopranos character?
The fucking. See, I don't watch Sopranos that much. I've watched it, but it would be the the guy that has the fucked up face.
Silvio?
Yeah. There you go.
I know Glenny Balls is a big Sopranos guy. Maybe we'll get him on here. And
he is.
But thanks so much for coming on, man. We appreciate it. Sure. And we'd love to have you on again. And definitely tell Lewan, he needs to get on here and smooth things over before he rides into the sunset.
Sure.
Especially the "you people" comment. That's not sitting well with me. But
lastly, I want to say one thing. Fuck the Jags. It was always Jersey Jerry.
Yes,
I'll see you in the funny papers, buddy.
It was. Thank you guys so much.
Absolutely, Jerry. Thank you very much, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Jersey Jerry, everybody. A living legend at Barstool Sports. Yeah. Great interview.
Down earth.
Very, very, very down to earth. That's really it for us tonight. I know we got possibly a guest coming on next week. A pretty big guest. I don't want to say anything and ruin everybody. I like keeping everything a surprise, as I know you do. But you got anything, Vin, to wrap things up?
No, that's it. Wanted to do something a little different this week, along with, talking about the Titans, bring on some guests a little different, Barstool guy, have some fun with it, which I think we definitely did. So subscribe, all that good stuff on all the platforms, and we will see you guys next week. Tighten up.
Absolutely. Tighten up. Sammy, sign us out.
And that's a wrap. Hope you don't miss us too much until next time. Follow the Sick Podcast Talking Titans on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Google Play, and Apple Podcasts.